Melania Trump, the wife of former President Donald Trump, is not at tonight's debate. We do know that Lara Trump is here. She obviously is now leading the Republican National Committee. But right now, this is a stark contrast to former President Donald Trump's last debate where he was surrounded by family.
I know that since we're not in normal times anymore, this story is not being covered elsewhere. We're going to cover it here on the MeidasTouch network that Melania Trump did not accompany her husband, Donald Trump, to the debate in Atlanta, Georgia. So Donald Trump doesn't have the support of his former vice president, about 40 of his closest advisors who have all said that he's a threat to democracy. So VP, closest advisors, generals who worked for him, and his own wife, Melania, doesn't support him. On the other hand, Dr. Jill Biden was there to support President Biden, and leading up to the debate, President Biden posted the following: "The best part of the campaign trail is having you by my side, Jilly." And Dr. Jill Biden had posted, "The school year's over, the grades are in, and the campaign is kicking into high gear. My summer plans, heading out on the road to talk to voters about all the great work Joe Biden is doing. I'll be posting a lot more going forward. Follow along and let's win this thing." And of course, one of the reasons why Melania did not want to show up is because Donald Trump, well, had sex with a porn star and multiple other women, and has been adjudicated by a jury to have engaged in sexual assault, and he was called out for that in the debate. Now, look, I want to address the debate. I've done it in a lot of other videos, which I'll do in a little bit. But let me just show you this moment where Donald Trump in the debate says that he did not have sex with a porn star. Did you ever think that you'd have a convicted felon on the stage talking about not having sex with a porn star as he's heading into being sentenced for his crimes after being found liable for civil fraud and for being a sexual assaulter? Well, here's what he said at the debate. Play this clip.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one.
As Gavin Newsom said, anytime you have to argue in a debate that you didn't have sex with a porn star is usually not a good thing. Play this clip.
No, when you use the words, "I didn't have sex with a porn star," you're not winning, you're losing at that case.
Yes.
And I'll tell you who was there. As we mentioned before, Dr. Jill Biden was there for President Biden. Here's what she had to say. Play this clip.
You heard Joe's heart tonight on the debate stage. He wakes up every morning thinking about how he can make the lives of Americans better. He's the president we need, the president you deserve. Sign up at joebiden.com to help finish the job.
And look, I know that there's a lot of people who are very concerned about that debate, and I was as well. But ultimately, where I netted out on this is, look, while I believe optics are important, and on the one hand, Donald Trump was a ranting and raving lunatic last night. But President Biden also was not jacked up Joe, that's for sure. He did not show up there with any degree of energy. And, you know, he missed a lot of opportunities. He didn't really show up. He didn't meet the moment from an energy standpoint and with flair, and he struggled a lot to just kind of get out what he was saying. But I think it was obvious to people, and this is being reflected in a lot of the data that we're seeing, not the media talking heads, but this is why we said, let's pay attention to what the data is going to be saying after this thing versus, you know, what the corporate media narratives that want the flash and the pizzazz. But I think independent voters are looking at this and saying, yeah, on the one hand, you had Trump lying about everything and a lunatic, and President Biden looked like he had speaking problems, but he was telling the truth, and he was answering the questions and actually talking about policies. Here's a Michigan undecided voter reflecting that sentiment. Play this clip.
When it comes to a strong leader and what we're looking for in a leader, I'm looking for somebody that I trust to be able to uphold policies that will protect me and are more concerned for the general well-being of everybody in the United States, which I got more from Biden, considering he did a lot more talking about policies, what he's done and what he plans to do. Whereas on the other side from Trump, all I really heard was, I've done this and it was the best ever, but I never heard what it was.
More on that in a moment as well. But with Melania not being there, you know, we've seen time and time again, Melania refusing to show up at these various moments and purposefully humiliating Donald Trump. Like, take a look right here. Here's an event that took place a few months ago at Mar-a-Lago. It's actually in the last 2 months, where Donald Trump tried to get Melania to show up. So he gave her like a fake award for being great with kids. She isn't. And she still refused to show up. So Donald Trump had to accept the award on her behalf, and he acted like he won as she kind of just left him hanging. Here, play this clip.
On board. We want to take this opportunity. I know my First Lady couldn't get here, but we want to give Melania Trump the Child Advocacy Award because she did so much for children when she was First Lady. So, sir, this is for Melania. Please make your way to the.
But look, don't feel bad for Melania. I mean, at the end of the day, there she is with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She knows exactly what's going on too, and the way she met Donald Trump at the Kit Kat Club in the late 1990s. She claimed to be a European model. She claimed to speak all these languages, which even when we talked to her former best friend says that she doesn't speak all those languages. And it's her whole story is bogus and a stunt. But she met Donald Trump at the Kit Kat Club, where wealthy Manhattan men met Eastern European women, and that's how they met. And they created this narrative together, like all things in Donald Trump's life. It's all fake. But here's Donald Trump with Stormy Daniels right there, who he claims he had no relations with at the debate. And he's been going around the country calling her a horse face and things like that. Here, play this clip.
You know, Marjorie is here, Truth to Vote, and they found at least 5 million instances on tape, and the courts didn't want to even look at it. The District Attorney of New York, under the auspices and direction of the Department of Injustice in Washington, D.C., was investigating me for something that is not a crime, not a misdemeanor, not an affair. I never liked horseface. It's just not. It's terrible for me. That wouldn't be the one. There is no one. We have a great First Lady.
And when you think about Melania, though, as I mentioned, not to feel bad for Melania. Remember when Melania literally plagiarized the entire speech of Michelle Obama? I mean, all they do is cheat and steal this whole family. Here, play this clip.
The values that you work hard for what you want in life.
For what you want in life.
That your word
is your bond. That you do what you say you're going to do.
Keep your promise.
That you treat people
with
dignity and respect, and because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
And recently I had the opportunity to interview her former best friend and advisor, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, about what Melania would say about Stormy. And here's what Stephanie had to tell us. This was Melania's former top senior advisor and former best friend. Here, play this clip. You know, around the time when you released the best-selling book, Melania and Me, there was that audio recording where Melania was livid that Stormy was going to be on the cover of Vogue or In Vogue, and she was calling her like a porn star hooker, and she was saying that to you, they're putting the porn star in the front, and this is so embarrassing. So she's always been humiliated by the Stormy ordeal. The fact that all of this testimony came out during the trial about what Donald was saying about her to Stormy, and perhaps even just the way that Stormy presented at trial, so professional, was a real kind of superstar and stood up there for herself. Do you think that like added to the torment of Melania just knowing her?
I don't think Melania understands torment, as crass as that sounds, and as sad as that sounds. I'll never forget, and I shared the audio with you. Melania did. She called me and she goes, you know, Anna Winter, editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, put the porn hooker in Vogue. Now, I was like, what? Actually, she said she shot the porn hooker. And I didn't know what she was talking about. And you hear my reaction. And in that reaction, Melania's only concern was that Vogue was actually profiling Stephanie Clifford, Stormy Daniels, not anything about the fact that the conversation in everyone's households was that Donald was having an affair with Stormy Daniels at the time. So it sort of shows you that she's able to compartmentalize so completely and so utterly uncaringly. There is no, she knows who she married and he knows who he married. She knows what she gets from this marriage. And that's more important than anything. So,
and then Melania, who's from Slovenia, and her birth certificate and all of this, her immigration documents and everything has all these red flags with the Einstein visa that she received and claiming she speaks all of these languages and all of these things. Like, let's remember who she is and what she said. Remember what she said about Barack Obama back in 2015. Here, play this clip.
But what is this with the birth certificate obsession? Did he ask to see yours when you met him?
I needed to put mine anyway, because if you want to become an American citizen, you need to put the birth certificate.
Right.
I have a birth certificate from Slovenia. And do you want to see President Obama birth certificate or not?
I've seen it.
It's not the birth certificate.
Well, it's a certificate of live birth,
right,
which they get. But Melania, if he insists on what he's saying, then no one in Hawaii can ever run for president because they all get the same live birth certificate.
Well, but they need to have...
Midler is finished, for example.
They need to have, and in one way, it will be very easy if President Obama just show it, and because it's not only Donald who wants to see it. It's American people who voted for him and who didn't vote for him. They want to see that.
But it's on display in Chicago. We've seen it on the internet. We've seen it. It's not the same as yours, but it's a certificate of live birth.
Well, we feel it's different than birth certificate.
All right. Well, I think you should give it up at this point.
Well, it's not. It's not him that it's bringing up. It's the media all the time. His points are really about bringing back the jobs, economy, healthcare, all the stuff. But they leech on that one issue, and they're going on and on and on.
Because they think that he's being obsessive about it, and then
he's not. He's more obsessed about. No, I would not say obsessed. He's very passionate about the country to doing well and to be what it was once before. Because can you imagine next generation, the children, our children, how they will do it's just going down, down, down.
I did see one comment that says, maybe Melania was the only person who made the right decision at that debate for literally not showing up right there. But I want to leave you with this too. This is from the Univision undecided voters. And what's interesting is nearly every single Latino voter who was part of the Univision Latino voters undecided panel said they now have moved to Biden after watching that debate. And what they said is that even though Biden may have speaking problems, what they said, that Trump seemed like a ranting and raving lunatic. Watch this.
Fue el tema que más acaparó su atención en este debate.
El hecho de que el señor Trump solamente volvió a lo mismo, a decir lo mismo en cuanto a que es el peor presidente, que Afganistán, pero no contesta, no dice qué voy a hacer para remediar cosas. El señor Biden, a pesar de que sí efectivamente está un poco lento al hablar, sabemos que tiene ese tartamudez, que no es muy grande, pues, pero de cualquier forma el hombre sí explicó qué estaban haciendo y qué hicieron, qué están haciendo todavía, porque todavía sigue siendo presidente. Después de estar indeciso por un rato, yo creo que hoy me voy a ir por el presidente Biden.
I thought that's interesting. I think it's important that we kind of follow the data here about what's going on. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. And thank you for watching and have a great day.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.